15 years ago, banks, I used to think of technology as just technology. When I used to go out and talk to the customers, I always used to tell them technology has power to change the business. And that's the time we are living in.
I see a massive change in the last 2 years. What's happened in the last 2 years is that the ecosystem now is all open for digital transformation. And nobody knows what that is. So what does that mean? We have to work together. And that's the change where I saw before everyone was worried about competition, so we don't share. Now it's, hang on a minute, we have to learn, so let's share.
Looking at, say, the trade digitalization space, part of European, what Japan's trying to do is create ecosystems within their country and put guardrails or rules up around these technology companies. That really needs adoption outside. And also, not just language, but mentality about we can do things better ourselves. That's not always going to be the way in which a company, a bank, or even a country can succeed, because trade is where I'm focused, of course, very much a global business. So everyone needs to kind of work together globally. And I believe that that's something that Japan could do better.
I was joking with regulators that when I was in Citibank in Japan, I was so scared about regulators. When I get the word regulator, it's okay, something I have to be serious about. But now you find the regulators are far more willing to engage with the ecosystem. I think that's one significant shift. The ability of the regulators to interact with the market has become way more simple, way more engaging, and way more meaningful. Second, which is extraordinarily to me as easily different, is when you get in the taxi. Earlier, you don't see any fintech in any of the taxis around. Today, get in any taxi, there's a LCD screen, and you see the number of fintech companies trying to process the taxi payment. It clearly demonstrates that fintechs have now taken more mainstream role in daily life of Japanese people.
I would say working with the global bodies is the place where everybody else seems to be starting. In the trade finance trade space, SWIFT obviously is a global setting of standards in international trade and commerce. You've got the banking association is like IBTA and BAFTA, and they all set these standards and global best practices that everybody seems to adhere to.
So I think, first of all, you have to be successful in Japan before you do cross-border. And I think that that's very important. Once you do that, there are a lot of companies wanting to get access to get that. What you need to do is be very clear on what your value add to those companies are within the region, and then the process is very smooth from there. I find that when you look at the Japanese regulator, they like to work in steps. What you need to do is set out what are the steps, and those steps could take 4 years. Now you have to be willing to invest those 4 years. And so many Western companies get to step 2 years, and then leave. So my advice is it's a 4-year program, set out the steps with the regulator, and then work with them.
I do believe that we kind of need so much more to global standards and best practices in the trade finance space, which is something that's only just starting to happen, but it is something that can happen overnight. One thing that our companies see globally, this isn't just a Japan problem, is that one bank thinks they can build a solution for themselves, and then another bank thinks they can build a solution for themselves, and you've got to see infighting between banks in specific jurisdictions or domicile banks from the same country. And again, cohesively, ecosystem approaches to combating any problem, be it payments, the trade finance I'm going to talk about here, for prevention specifically, and digitalization and trade. Everybody needs to come together, bring down the walls and work as one, because that's the only way you're really going to make any difference.
From Japanese banks' perspective, we are seeing them doing a lot. There's a lot of interest, not only from internal processes optimization perspective, but banks are thinking of going out and helping their customers trade. Now, what has been done until now in Japan is Japan has a lot of data. But is Japan able to actually monetize the data from their customers? Although through use of AI, they are taking the right steps to actually work in the direction of making money with the customer transactions. Now, Japan, it is also going through a big demographic shift. And in Japan, it's called Cliff of 2025. What that means is that all the programmers that started 50 years ago, 40 years ago, we all are going to retire in very, very fast. So, okay, who's going to do the work? Who's going to do the documentation of all the code they've written?
I think we should get more in execution. I think what we should do, Jim, execution learning specifically in categories, and really talk about sales execution, tech execution, engineering execution, regulatory execution, less philosophical and more execution next year. And I think that will show the maturity of the industry. You find a young industry talk philosophy and mature talk execution. The quality of this event has been incredible. The quality of people at this event has shocked me. It's incredibly high level quality people. I'm surprised at the ecosystem that has come out of the work. And everyone is connecting at a really humble level. There's no egos. And I'm so impressed with this event. I think it's the best fintech event I've been to in Japan.
It's quite a revolution for me. What I didn't expect is the amount of desire by Japanese founder to actually step out of Japan and go to Asian market and actually move their families.
This is the place, I think, they took time to learn live from the people who are actually doing it. Let it be the banks, let it be the regulators, let it be other ecosystem partners. So I would say this event for me is a success.
One of the events be incredible. I think it's the first fintech festival it's gone without any glitch. So I think a lot to be said for the Japanese efficiency and organisation. Credits to Mandy and everyone done an amazing job.